The pursuit of the American dream continues to attract individuals from the Middle East, enticed by the promise of higher wages and improved living standards. However, the reality of relocating to the U.S. for economic gains often clashes sharply with these expectations, revealing a landscape rife with both opportunities and unexpected challenges. People from the United States who are watching this video must be aware about these situations. Let's go deep now on this to provide more inside details. Economic opportunities vs. living costs. The quest for higher wages in the U.S. often feels like striking gold, only to realize you need to spend that gold to keep digging. For many Middle Eastern expatriates, the American economic landscape promises vast fortunes, particularly in high-demand sectors such as technology, engineering, and healthcare. These fields offer salaries that may seem like king's ransoms compared to those in their home countries. For instance, a software engineer in the Middle East might earn around $30,000 annually, but the same position in Silicon Valley could fetch upwards of $120,000. However, this financial uptick comes with a catch: the exorbitant cost of living in America's economic hubs. In cities like San Francisco and New York, rent for a modest one-bedroom apartment can soar to $3,000 per month or more, consuming a significant chunk of that seemingly generous salary. Thus, the economic boon transforms into a balancing act, where managing finances becomes as challenging as walking a tightrope over a fiscal canyon. Cultural and social adjustment. Cultural and social adjustment for Middle Eastern expatriates in the U.S. involves navigating a complex and often perplexing new world. The transition from a familiar cultural context, with its unique norms and values, to the diverse and fast-paced American social environment can feel like stepping into a kaleidoscope of behaviors and expectations. In the U.S., social interactions might be less formal, and the communication style more direct than what many from the Middle East are accustomed to, leading to potential misunderstandings. Additionally, holidays, dietary habits, and even daily routines undergo changes that can seem disorienting. Ramadan observances, for example, might clash with standard American work hours, complicating fasting and communal prayers. The challenge is not just about adapting, but also about preserving one's cultural identity amidst the mosaic of American society. This balancing act requires not only personal resilience, but also a welcoming community that acknowledges and celebrates cultural diversity. Job security and work conditions. Job security and work conditions in the U.S. present a different landscape for Middle Eastern immigrants, often marked by a stark contrast to what they may have experienced back home. Unlike many Middle Eastern countries, where labor laws tend to offer more job protection, the U.S. operates predominantly under an at-will employment system. This means employees can be dismissed from their jobs without warning and for any reason, bearing illegal discrimination, creating a sense of instability that can be quite unsettling. Additionally, the American work culture is known for its demanding hours and limited vacation time, a shift from the more relaxed norms in many Middle Eastern workplaces. For instance, whereas it's common in the Middle East to enjoy lengthy public holidays and generous vacation policies, in the U.S., employees might start with as little as 2 weeks of annual leave. This rigorous work environment demands a high level of commitment and flexibility from employees, challenging newcomers to adjust not only to the loss of job security, but also to the intensified pace and pressures of American work life. Healthcare and benefits. Navigating the healthcare and benefits system in the U.S. can be a formidable challenge for Middle Eastern immigrants, marked by high costs and complexity that starkly contrast with more accessible healthcare systems back home. In many Middle Eastern countries, citizens benefit from subsidized or even free healthcare, which significantly reduces the burden of medical expenses. In contrast, the U.S. healthcare system operates primarily on a private insurance model, where coverage is often tied to employment and can be prohibitively expensive. For example, a routine doctor's visit that might cost nothing out of pocket in the Middle East could lead to a bill of several $100s in the U.S., not to mention more significant expenses for emergency services or specialized care. The requirement to navigate insurance plans, copays, and deductibles adds additional layers of complexity and potential financial strain. This dramatic shift can be particularly daunting for newcomers, who must manage the high costs while still learning the intricacies of a system that is unforgiving to the uninformed. Education and family considerations. For Middle Eastern families relocating to the U.S., educational and familial considerations play a crucial role in their decision-making process. The American educational system offers a plethora of opportunities, often perceived as superior in terms of quality and future prospects compared to those in their home countries. However, the cost associated with higher education can be a significant barrier, with university fees that can soar into the hundreds of thousands of dollars for a 4-year degree. This financial burden is a substantial consideration for families. Long-term financial planning. Navigating new realities. Navigating the new financial realities in the U.S. requires Middle Eastern immigrants to engage in long-term financial planning that differs markedly from what they may be accustomed to back home. This planning isn't just about managing day-to-day expenses or saving for immediate needs. It's about understanding a complex financial landscape that includes retirement planning, investments, and insurance, all set against a backdrop of potentially higher living costs and different tax obligations. Immigrants must adapt to the prevalence of credit usage and its impact on financial health, learning to navigate credit scores and loans, which are integral to financial systems in the U.S., but may be less emphasized in their home countries. Effective long-term financial planning thus involves not only securing immediate financial stability, but also preparing for the future by investing wisely, saving for retirement, and ensuring adequate protection through insurance, all essential steps to achieving financial security in a new country. Building a new community, overcoming social barriers. Building a new community in a foreign land often involves overcoming significant social barriers, a challenge that can be as daunting as it is transformative. For Middle Eastern immigrants in the U.S., this means navigating a complex social landscape marked by diverse cultural norms and potential language barriers. Establishing a sense of belonging requires not only understanding and adapting to American social etiquette, but also finding ways to connect and communicate effectively with neighbors and colleagues who may have little knowledge of the Middle Eastern culture. Initiatives like community centers, cultural exchange programs, and social groups can play pivotal roles in this transition, offering spaces where immigrants can meet others who share similar backgrounds or interests, thus easing the feelings of isolation. These hubs become crucial in fostering a sense of community and belonging, acting as bridges that not only connect different cultures, but also support the newcomers in establishing their new identity in a multicultural setting. Weighing the pros and cons. Weighing the pros and cons of relocating from the Middle East to the U.S. is a complex and significant decision that hinges on balancing opportunities against potential setbacks. On one hand, the move can offer substantially higher salaries, particularly in sectors like technology and healthcare, advanced educational opportunities, and exposure to a culturally diverse environment that may foster personal and professional growth. These factors can dramatically improve an individual's quality of life and provide broadening experiences that are rarely available elsewhere. On the other hand, the challenges of such a move are considerable. The cost of living in major American cities can be prohibitively high, often absorbing a significant portion of the increased earnings. The healthcare system in the U.S., while advanced, is also complicated and expensive, posing a financial risk to those without sufficient employer health benefits. Additionally, cultural adjustments and the potential for social isolation can affect one's emotional and psychological well-being. Job security under the at-will employment doctrine can also be unsettling compared to the more rigid labor protections in many Middle Eastern countries. Prospective immigrants must carefully evaluate these factors, considering both the short-term adjustments and the long-term impacts on their lives and families, to make a well-informed decision about relocating. As we've explored today, the journey to the U.S. from the Middle East is filled with both bright promises and formidable challenges. If you found this video insightful, please give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications to join us as we uncover more stories and truths about the financial markets and topics like these. Your engagement helps us bring more such content to you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.